Hello and welcome back to The Great Cricketer, brought to you by Acco. Go and check Acco out at acco.com. My name's Ian Higgins. He is Sam Perry. We're reviewing days 1 and 2. Day 1, fucking pissed it down. Day 2, New Zealand won the toss, had a roll. India 3 for 146 or 146 for 3. No one cares about those scores. Pez, can you give it to me in grey terms?
I can, and I'd like to do it from New Zealand's perspective.
Nice.
Boys, we started shit. The number 4's a decent stick. You know, like you refuse to name him.
Yeah.
It's like a political opponent. Here goes. I want to take you to the start of the day's play. I couldn't help but giggle by myself, as is my want.
Yes.
And my sadness.
Yeah.
Couldn't help but giggle as both teams emerged onto the ground because, like, there was that anthem music that's usually reserved for the Olympics or Big Four bankads, like.
So it wasn't even Champions League.
It was like there was that fire shit that they got going. Yeah. Like the ICC really rolled it out. Like clearly in the ICC's mind's eye, all of this pomp and ceremony was meant to be for like an England or Australia versus India at Lord's.
Yeah.
Full packed house.
Yeah.
All of that music, etc. Yeah. Jewel in the crown of cricket's formats.
This is it. This is the big one. This is the ultimate test.
And instead, it was Colin de Grandhomme and his mates warming their hands as they walked out in Southampton in front of 4,000 people, half of which were dog walkers. Like when the drone came up, you could see like the cars parked outside. It was kind of sweet.
Yeah, it really is bringing club cricket to the international scene. Have you ever been to either the Rose Bowl, the Ageas Bowl, the Hampshire Bowl, or the ground in Southampton? You ever been there?
No.
I went there once. I actually saw Cameron White score a fine one-day 100 against England in like 2010, and I still talk about it to this day. It's actually got me through a lot of dinner parties. But it was fucking cold there that night, and it looked so cold there. Obviously the women's test at the same time. That's in Bristol. That looks fucking freezing as well. Beautiful summer in the UK. Mate, I bet Lord's is looking good today though.
I giggled. There was something beautiful about it, given all of the chat about the World Test Championship final for the last 10 years, 20 years, since Wisden conceived of the idea.
Yeah.
Like this was the apex. We arrived, and like
here we are.
Over the next few days, viewers, listeners are going to get this. Like, there's going to be endless, like, chin stroking business types, like decrying the ridiculousness of like weather being able to intervene in this billion-dollar sport, and like possibly denying a winner, you know, from this match because it's going to rain for the next 5 days straight. And like, so there's no winner or loser after 4 years of this competition.
Well, I'll tell you who is a winner, just to interject. Steve Smith's the winner because he's now the number 1 Test batsman in the world.
Exactly. Someone's won.
Seen that this morning?
Yeah.
On your smudge, well batted.
Best YouTube channel. But like, I don't know, like, is there anything more comforting than the idea that Mother Cricket still has the ability, with everything in this, you know, post-capitalist world, creating an effective result and driving efficiency that, like, you can just go like, nah, it's going to rain in Southampton. Share the mace. That's it. So,
someone described it on Twitter as a giant lollipop. Kind of is.
I just like, you know, it's like, oh, there's light meters. I got to go off at 3 o'clock. Sorry, nothing we can do.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like, first of all, like a baby's doll, like a toy, like a rattle. And secondly, you know how like sometimes you have like a set of keys and like it's a keychain. It's like a little bit odd, like it catches the eye. It looks like that, but a giant one. Maybe for a mayor's office or keys to the city.
So my first thing here goes, selections. Upon reflection, de Grandhomme was a good selection for New Zealand. Bit of seam on a wet one.
Yeah.
When they describe, it's like, no, that's right. It's wet wicket. And it's de Grandhomme. He has to play.
He's got to play.
He's New Zealand's spirit animal. I was saying they should have picked Patel. I'm an idiot. We all know that.
That's a separate thing.
De Grandhomme is New Zealand.
Yeah.
Everything about him is New Zealand.
It's a great
he had to play. Had to be there.
Colin to dad dick.
And then exactly. India, they've gone with the 3 and 2. Well, what are they going to do? I mean, they're all great bowlers. Jadeja can bat.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Jadeja averages 50 in the last like 3 years or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, he's good.
You know, India did their bit to build this game up. Sure, Kohli said it's just another test match, but Shastri called it a big daddy. And you know, you know that means something when the biggest daddy of them all describes the game as his daddy.
Seen the shoulders on this bloke?
Exactly.
I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's jacket.
Just on that subreddit, if someone could get that character and put Shastri on,
someone else did
that'd
the work.
be great.
Yeah.
There's no bigger daddy than you, Ravi. Do you have anything on selections?
Only that I was right.
Good. The second one.
Well, I guess like Warren has said that New Zealand can't win the game because this wicket's going to spin. There's foot marks already, which is weird given that they did not play any game on the day one. And it's already got foot marks, which is odd. So Warren was saying like if it seems, it spins. And
which is what that is his want as well.
And that really is his want.
That was a scheduled tweet. He hasn't been watching.
Yeah, since the Gabba, basically.
Every game, once he learns that there's no spinner, that's just a scheduled tweet.
Yeah, he does have some bias there, I think, Shane. But yeah, I don't know. I looked at New Zealand's team and it's like they played that exact team when they beat India at the beginning of last year. It's a good team.
Yeah,
it's a good team. No spinner, sure. But Colin does a job.
Yep.
I thought how badly New Zealand bowled, though. Fuck, I mean, like they can control the ball. Do you want to get into this second point?
We'll get into that, yeah. I think, like, just on the spinner thing, the foot marks thing is strange because foot marks become most effective when it's dry and it looks like it's going to be wet forever.
Yeah.
But it is England and plenty of left-arm orthodoxes have done well on a wet wicket in England, so it could work in that sense too.
Yeah.
The second thing here goes, which you were getting into, I just got it. New Zealand started poorly.
Yeah.
They won the toss. Couldn't get the rate. They were just inaccurate from the start. And like there's some shit about lacquer and the ball and stuff that we'll get into. But like Bolton Southey, experienced guys, both have 300 test wickets, 280 or whatever.
Yep.
Just couldn't hit the area.
I thought when Colin, who's like just the most like fucking pendulum-esque, just reliable, and when he's bouncing him halfway down to Rohit, who played some glorious back foot punches, but like, he played a couple of cut shots as well because they would just rank half-trackers at 120k an hour. When Evan Collins doing that, there's something going on. Tim Southey's first ball the day to Rohit was just a ball on the hip and he just turned it to leg side.
He was trying to swing it from leg stump.
Yeah, of course.
Because there's a bit going on.
And then that was actually one of his best balls that entire spell. He couldn't fucking land the thing. Like, he could land it, but not very... like, the length was okay, I thought, for Southey and for Bolt. Just the line was all over the shop. They couldn't really control it, which is odd, given they've already spent 2 test matches playing in England.
That's right. I mean, of course you're going to bowl when you win the toss in those conditions. The word Simon Doull used was they went searching. You see it all the time at that, like, or at any level actually. Like when the conditions are so much in your favour, you go looking for the wicket. I mean, like I think maybe there is something to do with the ball there or something because like guys with that level of experience, you would expect them to be able to hit the area more accurately than they could. But full credit to the batsmen as well. Gill and Rohit in their own ways. You mentioned Rohit off Colin de Gronholm. There was one back foot punch where the time that he had was just exquisite and borderline sexual, and also made Colin de Gronholm look like a 4th grader. As is his want.
I thought, well, what about the way the openers went about it? They were like walking at Southey. Shubman was walking at Southey.
Gill's charging cunts.
Mate, and then he gets hit in the face and then actually Pujara got a rough one as well.
Yeah,
but he wasn't walking at him, but Mate, Gill, I know Gill got 30 and he's obviously a close friend of ours now.
Yes.
He looked fucking the business. He played a couple of great pull shots. Mate, but there was just even actually Jameson's first ball, big hooping in swing, and he just punched it down the ground. I actually thought New Zealand's field placement with the mid-on was odd because I would have thought you would have wanted the mid-on straighter, make the batsman try and use it.
Wider.
I don't know.
He hit through there a couple of times.
I thought Gill looked fucking brilliant. He's a player.
He's a player, and a friend.
And a close personal
Reckon
friend.
he'd remember us?
Wouldn't have thought so.
No chance.
Mate, the only person who had a worse day than the bowlers was Devon Conway in the field, who had an absolute mare of Easttown. Like, just shocking. Like, he literally could not pick up the ball. You know the amount of times he like ran to the boundary. He was feeling at point for most of the day.
Yeah.
Ran to the boundary and they do like the trailer thing, so the second person goes and does a throw. Mate, he could not pick it up and flick it to the other person.
Yeah. I know, and there was one where he was diving into the fence with his feet first, and he like kept the leg out, which to me is like that's the thing that shows he's only played like 2 games of Test cricket because I wouldn't be able to do that either. Like that's a real practiced thing. It's like you get used to players these days like knowing how to tuck their legs in to actually do that, but he's just like, I'm going to fly kick this bad boy. Anyway, good bat though.
Yeah, hell of a player.
Shubman Gill just struck me that he's the only guy in the Indian 11 without facial hair. Something to think about. Maybe that's why Jamo lit at him. We'll talk about Jamo.
I think the way New Zealand have started this game. Now I was expecting. You're talking about like control of the ball. This is where Broad and Anderson England are so good when like especially in the northern cities where the ball tends to hoop a little bit more. They're so good because they can control it so well and just finding nicks. New Zealand hardly beat the bat really for winning the toss and that kind of wicket. I thought India is so far ahead of the game. I thought at lunch at 2 for 60 or whatever it was, 2 for 70. I thought India had done so well because that's a scene that you see in England like once or twice in a summer, team all out for 80, 70, 60.
Yeah.
and that can happen. I think India is so far ahead of this game at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at like India's bowlers, particularly Bumrah and Shami. I don't think they're going to be as lax as what New Zealand were.
I think you're right that India are significantly ahead, particularly given the conditions. But I thought New Zealand got themselves back into it just. I mean, it was probably like a 4 for wicket by lunchtime.
Yeah.
You'd be hoping for that. And they clawed it to 2 for. And they bowled well after lunch, I thought, as well. Jameson in particular bowled, ended up getting a wicket there as well. But it did bring Coach. It brought Kohli
Here we go.
to the crease, and he's looked like a man possessed from the start.
He doesn't really care about this game, though, does he? Eh?
Yeah, but it's in the eyes.
Fucking oath
it's in the eyes.
Yeah.
So like, mate, he hasn't even. I mean, my first thought when I saw him without sharp vectors of the beard was like advantage New Zealand.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's wrong again. Once again. He hasn't even bothered sharpening them because he's gone to a new dimension, I think. Like, did you say he was warming up in an official Indian puffer jacket?
Yeah, I saw a pump wear one of those as well. That looks good.
Yeah. You buying that or is that hard drives?
Hard drives.
Yeah, it's hard drives, but I still like
Any sort of cricket
If I was
paraphernalia.
picked to play for India,
I'd be wearing it,
Yeah,
I'd be getting every bit of kit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Off the mark with a cover drive for 4. Oh, and, mate, nobody shows more face. I haven't seen a bigger face of the bat since Tendulkar when it comes to driving down the ground. It's like, mate, that face is taking up the entire widescreen.
Yeah. Now, actually, this is going to be one of the questions on Patreon in the coming weeks about bats. I'm not an MRF guy. I don't like MRF as a brand.
As a person?
As a cricket bat, not for me.
Okay.
But
Kohli's that sponsorship.
Kohli and AB de Villiers may be the only two guys I'm like, oh, that's a good looking stick.
What about Steve Waugh?
No.
Late years Steve Waugh, MRF.
Hated it. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't make, yeah.
Brian Lara with it? No good.
It's tyres, isn't it?
The tyre company, yeah.
Yeah. He looked imperious, Kohli, and then obviously what that did, that precipitated the biggest discussion of the day, which commenced actually in the second ball of the day. And I know
as with cricket as always, the thing that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, the biggest discussion of the day, and it started with the second ball, was the infamous interview between us and Kyle Jameson.
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know, actually. It doesn't exist.
Oh.
But I said a lot of commentators are happy to recite the
Hang on,
story.
Dan Christian's calling.
That's right. Please don't void my contract. But a lot of commentators are referencing the idea that, Kyle Jameson denied Virat Kohli the opportunity to face him with the Dukes. Not a lot of attribution.
No.
To that interview, but nothing new
I
there.
heard this from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like the stories emanating from the great, but they don't want to get too close to it because it's a bit punk. It's a bit loose.
Yeah.
It's not sort of suit and tie, meat and potatoes,
Meat and 2 veg.
meat and 3 veg. if things are good.
What?
But
How good are things going? You got 3 balls.
Do you have a view on like what does happen if Jameson manages to get Kohli with the Dukes?
I
There's a
mean,
lot of people calling for the release of the interview.
well, I don't know if the CPM will cover Dan Christian's contract, the value of that. But, maybe a screenshot. Maybe a screenshot out there. Maybe just, maybe so if you see it, maybe you should retweet or not. Scared like.
Pajara got fucking lidded too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, then Bolt
Anything
got him.
when the back, what do they call the back protector thing, but that bit flies off.
Yeah.
Oh, scary. It's like part of your brain falling out.
Pajara with 8 of 54 balls. Why does it still feel good to me?
It took 35 balls to get off the mark.
But it's like, yeah, but that's Pajara.
I love the conversation in Australia's like, geez, he bat's slow. Geez, they won the series. Get him out. Just get him out. And then Rahane took a single to Kane Williamson, and Kane did the right thing by missing the stumps because fuck me, there was some look in the eyes there. I dare you, Kane.
Yeah.
I dare you to throw the stumps down here from 4 metres.
Damn straight.
Got 3 to aim at.
I thought he batted quite well. Scratchy at the start.
Rahane?
Rahane looked good.
Mate,
yeah.
I wonder if he's a guy who's coming into like some prime form in his career. I think he averages 40. No, someone's
Get
going
this
to
right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's no good. He's
going to average.
Yeah. I think he averages 175.
Yeah. Apparently Kohli hasn't hit 100 in any format in 18 months.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There's some compensation runs coming up.
Yeah.
He looks good to me, Kohli, if they get on the field again in this game. And then they went off for light because, cricket.
Cricket. Because cricket.
Yeah.
Hell of a sport.
Yeah.
Hell of a sport.
You can just, talk about fast forwarding what's going to happen in this game. Like, do you think they're going to finish this game? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the weather, but they're 60 overs in when they should have played 180 already.
Yeah.
They can make some stuff up. It's a 6-day match.
Yeah.
Day 2.
Mate, I get the feeling this could be a 9-day game. Like there might be a result on day 9, third session.
Yeah.
Hell of a finish, but
Yeah.
I don't think we've got that kind of time because we got to finish this West Indies South Africa series.
Exactly. All right, RCDC, he goes, brought to you by ACO, of course. He goes, I've just got one for you here, and it's from our friend who goes by the name One Little Indian. I'm not saying One Little Indian.
Yeah.
And the question is, how are you boys feeling now that the champ is dead? Hashtag RCGC. So for background, champ is referring to US President Joe Biden's dear dog, Champ.
Yeah,
that
German Shepherd, I think.
passed away, yes. So how do you feel?
First of all, I was excited that Champ was in the White House.
Yes.
A lot of people won't even know what we're talking about with this, but some will. The Champ, when Champ was in the White House, I thought, that makes me feel good. And then all the notifications came in about it, and I was like, I've had enough of this now.
Yeah.
So now that he's dead, Champ will live on forever. Euphemistically, not the actual dog. The dog is dead.
The dog's dead.
The dog's dead. And maybe that joke is as well.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely not. There's way more merch to sell around that. But
Yeah.
I mean, in many ways, we're all going to get champed one day, aren't we?
Well, we are.
By life.
Well played. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well played.
And like, I just
Test
wonder
match is
with
champing
like,
me.
that's the level you've got to be at to become US president. Like, you've got to be willing to champ your own dog by name, and champ anybody.
The big dog.
Yeah. But that's right. Humility would dictate that we will all be champed one day.
Just to finish up, we didn't speak about the Kohli leg side strangling by Bolt with the umpire and the soft single and stuff. Geez, I don't care about it,
Yeah, they got there. They looked at it on the video, and they made the decision. And there's some soft signal shit.
If New Zealand win the Test match by having extra review, then that'll be funny, and that'll be redemption for the World Cup final in 2019. That'll be redemption. I don't think it's going to happen though, because this game is going to be a draw.
Yep.
Anything else?
I love you.
P.S. I love you. And I love you out there as well. See you guys for day 3.
Three.
What is this sport? See you later.